Why not? Okay, so I'm recording now.
And you record on cloud?
Yes, I put it in the cloud.
Yeah.
Wherever that is.
It's in the cloud. It's in the sky.
Cloud, yes. Where are the clouds?
Today there aren't many. It's so hot.
Yes.
How's the weather in New York? Very hot, I believe.
It's really hot today, yes.
Are you in New York City?
Yeah, I'm in Chelsea right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I live here for 4 years. Are you in Boston right now?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm a little outside of Boston, but close enough.
We really wanted to visit.
Yeah, I can imagine.
No, we wanted to have you. I mean, it's so strange, like this festival, like not actually like going out and hanging, because so much part of it is a social sort of aspect.
I know.
You meet filmmakers, you have drinks, you chat about film, you chat about direction. It's like you build a sort of like a community and a camaraderie. And the Q&As are really great. I love it. I'm so glad we can find spaces to gather. But
yeah, it's cool.
I definitely miss the sort of the physical sort of aspect of it.
Yeah.
Sean, I'm happy if you want to stay and also ask questions. So don't feel like you have to like disconnect your camera. I'm happy if you're part of this.
Okay.
I always feel a bit nervous in this situation, so I'm happy to have some.
The comfort of Lather Daddy here.
Yeah, and Sean is the director, so he's the daddy of the festival.
Yeah. The Lather Daddy of the festival. All right, so
maybe let's start broadcasting.
Yeah, that sounds about right. All right, so I will count us. What's happening now? What's happening? All right, I'm gonna start this again because that is weird.
Your name is pronounced Regev, is that correct?
Yes, everybody in the States call me Reggie, so you can feel free to call me Reggie also. But it's Regev if you really like.
Regev,
try.
Okay. Regev, okay.
You do have European accent, so.
I am Italian.
Oh, you should have the G.
Yes, Regev.
All right. Sorry about this.
No, it happened to me too. I had to start from scratch because somehow like a new window popped out.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like a whole different window. And it was like, okay.
We're all learning how to do this, clearly.
Right? Well, they want you to do that, like their sort of like proprietary software shenanigans. I mean, I'm just like, no.
Skip. Next.
Connected. We don't want you.
So, Regev, were you able to watch the other shorts of your selection?
Oh, I saw all of them actually.
Okay.
I really liked. Florent, did you directed the Spanish one?
No, I directed the French one.
Oh.
Let me give a formal introduction now that we are live. So, hello everybody, my name is Giuseppe, and we are here for the Q&A after the screening of international shorts. We have here Florent, who directed Beauty Boys, the first shorts of the selection, and then Regev was the director of Moving Day, the last short. We are opening and closing our selection with this Q&A. And yes, there was a conversation happening already, very interesting, between Regev and Florent. So yeah, Florent was the director of Beauty Boys, and funny enough, we had 2 shorts dedicated to dancing, because after yours, there was another one, Cuban Hill Shoes, that, I mean, we were supposed to have the filmmaker, but he couldn't be here. And it's a very endearing story, the first one we had, and I was particularly touched by the relationship between the brothers. There is this struggle in the beginning, but then, the affection shows up, and I found it very relatable. What was your inspiration for this story?
Oh, so first of all, thank you very much for the invitation for screening the movie. And the inspiration, there are very many. I feel like, I'm a drag queen in Paris, and I discovered drag like 3 years ago, and it's the third movie I'm doing on that topic. And I've been meeting some young people. I'm 35, and I've met people who are beginning with the drag art and experiencing about their identity. And as a 30 years old guy, I'm very moved by the possibility of young people now to experience things that we couldn't, like years ago, because we couldn't reach so many representations. So the movie is about that, about experiencing your identity, and through drags, through the art of drag and the scene, and also through the rap, because the brother, the older brother, has the same need to go and stand up on a stage to express himself. So I would say that's sorry, my English is broken, so I need.
No, it's quite perfect. I mean, mine is not much better. So.
Me too.
I cannot judge. Another thing that I could relate to, this movie is set in a small village, and I think it's even maybe another component of the story is trying to find a way to represent yourself in a context that's maybe not so broad, with many references and many places for you to be yourself. I think that was also an interesting point of the story.
Yeah.
Is it also something that belongs to your personal experience?
Yeah, in some way. Even if I always like to inject more fiction in the stories and not to be that literal. I am from the suburbs. I'm not from a small town. And as I mentioned, I began with the drag like 3 years ago, but I feel very connected to those young who are 20 and or 17. They are 17 in the movie. Right. And I wanted to tell about the shiver of the first time, like when you feel like, okay, I am disobeying to my own rules in order to open something and to cross borders. So that may be the connection with my own story, but I'm not as close to what characters are living. For example, I didn't have any problems with my family accepting the fact that I'm a drag queen, because I began like when I was 32, and everything was more easy than if I began at 17.
Yeah, but there was something very powerful about trying to set up that kind of performance in a context that was, again, like a small village context. There was something very powerful about deciding to express themselves in that way. I thought it was very, powerful and endearing as a story.
Yeah. In a way, I mean, I may have felt that way in the suburbs also. Even if I grew up close to a huge town, in the very small town in which I lived in the 90s, I felt that way. Mm.
Yeah, I could see that in the story. Sean, do you have any question?
Sorry, I muted myself because my computer keeps sounding. I think for Beauty Boys, I mean, what I really appreciated about the film a lot is that sort of focus on being young and sort of like trying to make your own way. Like it had a lot of moments of joy in it, which I really appreciated, because I feel like I'm older too, and sometimes I feel really jaded. And we've all seen it, but sometimes you forget that sort of the thrill of sort of like kind of almost being transgressive in many ways. And I really kind of appreciated that you sort of focused on that moment, and the sort of the weird sort of bromance between the brother and his friend as they're boxing, was really kind of like really nice. It was a nice moment. It was also very like homoerotic, but also in a very safe sort of like safe way.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I feel like you felt that character's panic too around when he was like being called out in the crowd, which was kind of I really enjoyed it. So I feel like, so what would be, oh my God, I lost my train of thought. where do you think your film should be shown, and it's in this context where it would see the most eyes?
I wish it could be shown everywhere. Actually, it's now on TV in France. I'm very lucky because there is a channel, Channel 5, who gave us money to make it. So it's shown now on TV. And yeah, I wish it could be seen everywhere because it's a very specific topic, like all we've been saying like right now. But I like to make it family, for a family audience, because through the subject of going on stage and assuming your diverse identities and transgressing your masculinity, as you mentioned, I want to say something more larger than that. And the message would be like, never give up on experiencing and on accepting the fact that we are multiple, we are diverse person in ourselves. I don't know if I'm making it sound very clear. It's hard in English, but yeah.
No, I completely understand where you're coming from.
Okay, cool. So yes, my wish is that it could be heard by people not gay or not into drag, or because I feel like the convention of masculinity and the codes, and also about femininity, the character that we have to be socially. I think it's a subject which touches everybody.
It's so great.
So Regev had the privilege to watch other people's work, and I think Florent wasn't able to watch the entire screening. How did you feel about the position of your movie? Always trying to end with a movie that is a bit more lighthearted, like toward the end. And I thought your movie had a lot of traits of comedy, because there were a lot of fun moments.
Yeah. So how am I feeling about the fact that it was opening?
I was talking with Regev now. I was
you have
the way to follow the flow with the
I was not sure. I'm happy that I have the opportunity to talk with Florent about Beauty Boys, because that's the first movie that I saw in our block. And I really like the fact that you took two brother relationship and did a movie about that. And this is something that I try to do with Moving Day when I think about that, because a lot of time we're taking for granted the fact that everybody should accept us, right? The society should accept us. Our family should expect us, should congratulate us. And in a way, I feel like we don't think about what is their point of view, or how they see the things, and how they suppose to be exposed to all of that. So I really like what you did in Beauty Boys, and in my movie I tried to take it a bit different. My movie was about a relationship between father and the son. Mm-hmm. And I try to make the son character a little bit antagonist, and like try to push a little bit the father in a way that we examine the point of view of the father and not the gay son. And in a way, I felt that you did that in Beauty Boys. Like you tried to take the point of view of the other brother, and it was nice.
Oh, thank you. Actually, I didn't have the luck to see your movie, and I'm sorry about it. But I feel like I can relate to what you say, because sometimes as a gay person, I feel like we feel like we have to be accepted, but very often it took us years to go there, just to go there to accept ourselves. So it may take time also for the other people to embrace us the way we are. So I understand what you mean.
That's pretty amazing what you're saying, because that's the point that I got on my movie. I told to myself, like, for years my father is like fantasy about me in a wedding day with some woman, and you know, now I'm coming and breaking all of his dreams. And what
Mm.
about him? Like, okay, he should accept me, but what about him? Like, where he stay? And yeah, I feel like it's the same point of view.
Mm.
With brother, I feel like it's different a little bit. Do you have a
Yeah,
brother?
yeah, I have an older brother. But don't you think there are expectations in both ways? Of course, fathers have expectations for the sons, but when you grow up with another guy and he embraces other representations, it may be felt like a fight when you don't embrace it, and yeah, the way he does. So I guess there are also expectations in a brother relationship. Sorry.
Yeah, and I think that almost most of the shorts in the selection were about family. And I always make this joke because Italian cinematography is obsessed by family. And that, as an Italian, probably I am too. And yeah, most of the stories are about relationship within the family. And I thought it was, yeah, a very on point story, the one that was told in Moving Day as well. And again, I was trying to say before, it has a lot of points of comedy. When the father walks through the sauna and there are the shades of the people having sex, or you know, the closing of the shot is hilarious. He meets the friend and then he sees the friend get walking in. And yes, I think you're very...
I took a little bit from Pasolini, so maybe you saw that.
Yes, I could catch that reference. And I think it was interesting also because as you say, like there is this son that tries to be an antagonist and you know, tries to make the father uncomfortable, and the father nonetheless finds the strength to stay and try to help and, you know, and try to understand what's going on. Yeah, it was a very interesting perspective on what the other person needs to do to understand you, which is not always very easy. I appreciate very much the point of view.
Yes, I feel like in another way, that's where the community going, because in a way we stop to ask people to get us or to accept our love. In a way we are doing that, and in a way we making our marriage, and we going to the marriage institute and the family institute, and we asking. And there was the Spanish movie about the two guys that trying to bring kids.
Contract.
I can say very honestly that I'm in the middle of surrogacy process, and in a way, like, I look at this movie and I told to myself, wow, I can be instead of them. That was, I feel like it's another movie that take the family institute and trying to break it and trying to ask, why do we need to pay so much to bring kids, or how can we make it different? You know, it was the Pride Month, and all over the city, I live in New York, you can see banks and, you know, so many institute and places, and, you know, a big shopping centers that very proud in our pride. But in a way, banks doesn't give loans to couples that trying to bring kids. So this gap, I feel like our movies doing more for like going more for the Institute of Family and asking the questions more.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. How were you able to share your work during this period? I guess it has been hard to broadcast.
You can't imagine. So actually, yeah, it was before the Corona, you mean?
Oh yeah, and after, of course.
Everything is okay? Yes?
Yeah, sorry.
So before the Corona, I started a festival tour. I feel like the Corona got me closer to the festivals because now I can watch everything online. But
Sure.
I was planning to come to Boston. I really wanted to see you guys. And in a way, it shifts to the next, everybody, all the filmmakers make their tour and then they go into the online websites, and I feel like it just make it closer or just shorter to this direction.
Yeah, we try to create a bridge in that gap, because yes, it was for us it was also a big disappointment to have to cancel the festival.
I mean, we were on the brink of announcing our program when we had to postpone, because the day we were scheduled to announce, two of our venues decided that they were going to close. And so it was like, what do you do?
So you have a full program.
You spend a month eating ice cream on the couch and then crying, and then you figure out what to do next. And here we are.
If I may share my own experience with quarantine, because in France it's over since 3 months. I know you guys in USA are still right into it. As a drag queen, I had shows, and I had to make a show like it's the first day of quarantine, and we decided to not cancel it, but to do it on Instagram, as it's also being done a lot in USA and on YouTube, etc. And we did it for all quarantine. We made it 6 times, and at the end, I felt like I hadn't been alone. I could go through that with an whole community, and I was hosting the shows in my room, and people were performing in the kitchen and in the bathroom and in the room. And I feel like it's great that you invent something online to give us the feeling of being together, though it's not physically possible. So thank you for that.
And another value to that is that, for example, we have been able to broadcast our short selection for the entire duration of the festival, and this is important also for you, because your Q&A will be available, and people can listen about your work and still be able to go online, buy a ticket, and watch the selection. So as it comes with a lot of limitations, also gives a lot of possibilities, because we can actually have a platform where everything is accessible for these 10 days, and people can still reach out and watch your movie. So that's another thing that I wanted to point out, because that's a value, at least in this bad situation, that we could able to obtain, at least.
And if you really love the program, if people love the program, they can watch it again. So you can get multiple people watching. They can't buy another ticket, unfortunately, but they can watch it again. So sometimes you need to watch something twice to really connect, for it to sink in. And I kind of love that. And for us to sort of offer that to our community, and we've actually, Florent, what you said too about not feeling alone in the quarantine. I feel very much that the festival sort of launched, and that sort of also as an artist, you have a bit broader reach now, because it's not just the neighborhood of the people that were coming to your bar or to our festival. We've expanded our audience, many times. And I think that's amazing, because for us, and I'll speak for, I'm not going to put just word in Giuseppe's mouth, but I feel like we're akin to wanting to utilize the platform that we have to share stories that aren't necessarily our own. So, I've never done drag, but I love films about drag, and it's great to see that experience, because there is a universality in that too. And the same thing, I don't have a very great relationship with my dad, and I could not imagine him ever coming to my apartment above the sauna. But it's just there's a bit of universality and a lot of tenderness in those stories that are relatable to everybody. I think that's important to allow as many people as possible to see that.
And that's a nice occasion that we had. And in this situation, at least, something good.
But it's funny to me, because Beauty Boys is actually not about homosexuality. It's like there are. It's reproached to the characters that they are too feminine, and they are called faggots in the streets. But actually, you never really know if the character really are gays. And it's something which is not treated in the movie. But to me, it may be kind of a reflection to be able to disconnect femininity from sexuality, because actually those young kids may not have any sexuality yet, but they are making drag and they are experiencing about their own masculinity. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that as a question.
Maybe they dancing flamenco.
Yeah.
That was the following dancing short. Yes,
Yeah.
there was a short about two flamenco dancers.
Okay.
Beautiful one.
Yeah,
Two
yeah, that
guys?
was beautiful too. Two guys, yes.
Okay.
Cuban heel shoes, and that was also like set in the suburbs. Two kids with a rough life, and the dance was a way for them to express themselves and find a place for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so a lot of dancing in this short.
Dancing in family.
Dancing in family, yes.
You get a theme going on.
The two threads.
I feel like in our quarantine we need a lot more dancing. Anyways, I know I do. Anyways,
Do you have new projects you're working on?
Yes, I'm working on another short film. It's already was written. I'm sending that. It's about, as I said, family is something that is fascinating me, and I'm doing a movie about wedding day and about two men in the city of New York, and I really hope to go and shoot it because it's ready. Just
Okay.
go and shoot. Yes,
Hopefully soon you will be able to.
I hope.
and consider our festival for submission.
I will. Promising.
well, once you're an alum of our festival, we want you to send us your new work because what's exciting too about the sort of social aspect of a film festival is meeting people and seeing their sort of progression as a filmmaker. That's what really interests me too, because you make these almost like comradeships, and I love seeing people's what's next. So please share.
What about you, Florent? Do you have new work?
Yes.
Coming up?
We are about, if everything goes right, we are about to shoot my first feature in next January with the same production, which is Yokun Kun production. And it's still about drag. I feel like I really have a topic and I need to go through that. And then I will talk about something very different because I will have gone full circle. But yes, it's a love story this time. And you will see Cookie once again, the drag that you see in Beauty Boys. And it's about the guy falling in love with her. And he doesn't know anything about drag. He's not even gay, but he moves into an all other place, and he meets himself through this love. But we'll see if the goddess of drag and if Miss Rona help us. We'll see.
Hopefully it will be behind us soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
I know. We need to get out and make more work. Although I'm really kind of excited to see people's
Me too.
sort of musings. I feel like that we're going to see a lot of personal filmmaking going on, and I'm not mad at. I feel like create it, make it happen.
a lot of monologues.
Shakespeare had a lot of monologues.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kitchen monologues. That would be the new trend of.
I see it.
Yes, you can make a selection of that.
Well, I mean, we're getting a lot of kitchen drag. I mean, even RuPaul's the finale of the last season of Cycle of Drag Race was in everyone's apartments. So it's like, why not? And I kind of actually really love it because it's like a behind the scenes. Like the one thing is I feel a lot more personally connected because the internet is often about perception and projection of, you can put on a filter, you can choose the best angle of photo to put, to put yourself out there. It's all, there's a lot of control in that sort of engagement on the internet. And I feel like what's happened with the pandemic is that we're sort of forced out of that a little bit. And it might be a lot of it still going on in many ways, but there's a lot more, I guess, rougher edges and more authenticity, which I really kind of like. I mean, I like artifice, but I also like when, the pancake makeup is cracked or something like that, because they've been dancing too hard, It shouldn't always be about perfection.
Yes. It gives the context is more real. But we'll see the new submissions, how they look like.
Yes.
I think we can probably wrap up here. I want to thank again Regev and Florent for coming.
Thank you.
And remember,
you, guys.
everybody, that yes, the selection is available until the end of the festival. It's in a week, next Sunday, right? In a week from now.
August 2nd, 11 p.m. is the last moment you can look at it. And that's
Okay. So I invite everybody to go online and watch everything they can, particularly international short selection.
Wickedqueer.org, schedule, buy some tickets.
Thank you again, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
For coming. So nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.